So the sutra is Kaya Rupa Samyamatad Grahaya Sakti Stambe Chaksu Prakasha Stambe Sakyu Prakasha Samprajyog Antardana means disappearance or invisibility. I'm hopeful that we get through this and I don't disappear. So the sutra is, by control over the subtle body, the yogi can suspend at will the rays of light emanating from himself, so that he becomes invisible to onlookers. He may again make himself visible by bringing back the power of perceptibility. Now, we get to this point in the sutras and we start to wonder, are they really talking about people being able to be invisible? And I'm going to leave that for you to decide what your thoughts and feelings about that are. For me, I believe it's straight up that you can disappear. Not just that you could disguise yourself the way, say, a tiger in a jungle where the light is kind of dappled is invisible, or the way that a baby deer lying in leafy cover is invisible. Not just, although that kind of moves in that direction in my mind, but I think that really they're talking about, here I am, here I'm gone. And who knows what that would be like. I can't speak to that, so no experience of disappearing. So I'm going to chant the invocation. You can chant at home along if you want, or you can just listen. And we'll begin. Yogena chitasya parena vacham malam sharirasya chavaichakena yoga karutam pravaram nina patanjalim pranjalir Abahu Parushakaram Shankachakra Siddharinam Sahasra Shirsam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Hari Om. Bow your head, releasing your chin to your chest, and bring your hands to your thighs, palms up. Lift your head slowly, open your eyes. Stretch your legs straight ahead and come into Dandasana. In Dandasana, draw your outer calves in and stretch out through your inner leg. Press down through your heel, press down through the back of the knee, and broaden the back of the knee from the inside out, so that you create as if you're creating a wall on that outer leg against which you will press. So as you're squeezing in through your outer leg, you're pressing out through your inner leg. Roll your upper arms back and feel when you do that lift through the side chest. Here. Then, when you feel the shoulder blade, when you feel your hands on the mat, connect that to the touch of the shoulder blades on your back body. And push to push your chest up. Now hold that position. Continuing to draw the calf in and to press the knee out. As you squeeze in through your outer hips, feel that length that comes up through the front of the spine. Take your trunk off. And then extend all the way out through the crown of the head. Now reach your arms forward, maintaining the actions of the legs. Turn your triceps, that's the underarm or the back of the arm, from the outside in, like this. Then reach out through your inner arm, and on the inhalation, reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling. Squeeze in through your outer arms more. And as you draw your hips in completely, see if you can create more lift through the trunk. Straighten your arms as much as possible, and notice if your hands or your fingers either start to hold an hors d'oeuvre tray or to make parentheses, but really reach up through your fingers. Even if your arms are here, still reach through the fingers and feel that reach through the chest as you reach through your fingers. And then exhale, lower your arms and separate your legs for Upavishta Konasana. If it's uncomfortable for your heels to be on the floor flat, you can move back and put your heels on the edge of your mat. Now reach around to your thighs and move the back of the thighs out. And then draw the outer thighs in, draw the outer calf in, and feel when you do that, there's a length through the inner leg. Take that length all the way out through the sole of the foot, so that you're making your leg as long as possible and getting as much of the back of the thigh as you can on the floor. Then roll your upper arms back again. Feel that lift of the chest as you press your hands into the floor. Almost as if you were going to lift yourself up off of the floor, but not in a way that pushes your arms up towards your neck or ears. So your shoulders continue to release down. Your hands continue to press down, and the chest pushes up. Now turning to Parshva Upavishta Konasana, lengthen through your left leg, draw your outer hip in and turn. And make that turn not a turn where you crank yourself with your shoulders and your arms, but rather a turn where you draw your hip in to turn yourself easily. So we're taking the ease of that action to turn toward the right leg. Keep extending out through your left leg. Use your right hand behind you to lift up through the front of the spine. So it helps you get the left side of your chest high. If your back hand doesn't press, you might find yourself leaning toward that front hand, towards your left hand. But use your right hand to lengthen the left waist, extend through your left leg again, draw the hips in one more time for that last turn, and then exhale, come back to the center. Now extend through both legs again, and draw the hips in, draw the outer calves in, draw the hips in. And we turn now to the left, extending through the right inner leg, drawing the right outer hip in. Now as you draw the right outer hip in, draw the left outer hip in against it, squeeze the hips in to give yourself an easy turn, so that you don't have to use your arms to create the twist, but rather use your arms to help you get length through the right side waist and lift through the front of the chest. As you turn, feel that left shoulder blade, the inner lower edge of the shoulder blade is touching your back rib. Now make more of that as you stretch the right leg and draw both hips in. Turn. Look at your left foot. Breathing. Hold the pose for one more breath. And then on the exhalation, come back to the center. Bring your legs together. And take a lift under your buttocks if your knees are high. So if you're here, best to take a lift. And pull your heels in close to your buttocks. Bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Either hold your ankles or your feet. And if you start here, if you start with your hands on your ankles, you'll be more upright. As time goes by, you'll be able to tip forward, which will bend your elbows. That gives you the space you need, perhaps, to reach around and grab your feet, or even just your big toe. Regardless of what you're holding, draw your abdomen back, extend from your inner groin to your inner knee, and then from your outer knee, pull back to your outer hip. And once again, same action, squeeze the hips in. Squeeze the hips in. Lift your chest. Now notice, have your heels lost their contact with each other? Press the heels together by lengthening through the back. Notice if one shoulder is higher. Lift both sides of the chest equally. And then release. Bring your hands to your outer knees. Press the knees together. And stretch your legs out. If you need a support for downward facing dog, so if you're not doing dog on the floor, then you would take a chair and put the chair against the wall and place your hands on the chair. I think people who need that know that they need it. Otherwise, you're going to come to your hands and knees. During the class, if the poses are held longer than, I'm just going to say longer than they should be, because with nobody in front of me, it's hard to know what things should be. But longer than you need for it to be, you just come down. Rest if we're still in the pose and you want to come back
and you'll come back up. So place your hands on the floor about shoulder width apart. Look back at your knees. Separate your knees, hip width apart. Your hands will be slightly in front of your shoulders. Your knees will be slightly behind your hips. Now, as you push out through your inner hand, lift your collarbones and take your upper outer arm and pull it back and in, so that you feel the lift of the front chest. Lengthen through the back of the neck. You'll be looking not forward, but really down between your hands. Now, draw your hips in, tuck your toes, and pull your abdomen up toward the ceiling. Hold that for a moment. And on the next exhalation, you're going to push your hands into the floor and push your legs up and back. Take your hips up and back. Extend your arms completely. Keep the elbows straight. Keep your hands pushing forward and down into your mat. Then, as you extend all the way up through your spine. So, not so that the weight is dropping onto the shoulders, but rather so as time goes by, you feel more and more weight moving back into your legs. Relax the neck, let the very crown of the head point toward the floor. Now, from your outer hips, press down to your outer heels, even if your heels don't touch the floor. Push back. So if your knees are wanting to bend because the stretch is too much, bend them slightly, lift your buttocks so that your legs can straighten, but the heels will be high. Then push with your hands into the floor again to press your buttocks and your thighs back. Bend your knees and bring your legs back down to the floor. Bring your toes together, drop your knees apart. Keep your hands, if you can, where they are on the mat. And as you push back towards your buttocks, let your forehead release down toward the floor. If your head doesn't come toward the floor, take a block and put it under your forehead. Do try to keep extending your arms. So this is a great opportunity now without much weight on the arms to try to extend not from the shoulder, but from the armpit. And that extension from your armpit goes all the way out through your fingers. Let your abdomen release between your legs. Let your breathing come back to normal. And then come back up. Get a belt. Have it nearby. We're going to do a few seated poses to open the shoulders. If you find that sitting on your shins is uncomfortable, you'll open a blanket on the mat like this. If you're comfortable to sit on the floor, you needn't do it. Have your other blankets, towels, blocks nearby. And we're going to come into Virasana.
So bring your knees close, bring your feet apart, reach into the back of the knee, grab the knee, the calf, pull the calf back and out toward your heels and lower the buttocks down between your heels. The block could be in this position. You could have 2 blocks. You could have 1 block. You could even have a trifold blanket. If none of those work for you, I'm taking a block for now. If none of those work for you, you could actually do this seated on a chair, or you could take a bolster or a blanket and put it on top of your heels and sit like this. So basically, we're just trying to get a little stretch to the front of the thigh, to the extent that it's possible for us today. No discomfort in the knees. Now, adjust your leg so that if you see my knee now, it's turning in. So watch how I adjust on this leg. I'm going to shift and come more to the center of the shin. You can see this one is still turning in. This one, I just moved over on the shin. Now this outer edge of this shin is up. The center of this shin is now down. So then I take and adjust this one. I brought my knees a little bit wider apart, which is fine. My feet are still apart, also still fine. I'm stretching the toes straight back, the big toes straight back, and squeezing the outer ankle. Once you start to squeeze the outer ankle in, you'll feel the outer calf moving. Okay? Clasp your hands, turn your palms towards me. Look at your arms now to see that your elbows are straight. Bring your thumb in line with the other fingers and extend through your inner hand and reach up, pulling the pinky finger side of your hand down. Your elbows will try to bend. You know that and can perhaps feel it. So squeeze in from your outer arms here to get more length. Notice if the back body is reaching up, it means that the armpit chest is not lifting, not opening. Drop the shoulders and reach up from the front of your arm, from the underside of your arm, from here. Rather than here, where I'm reaching up from the back and giving myself a pain in the neck and being unhappy about that, to here where I drop it and I reach the other side of the arm. So again, it's always a gradual process. So those of us who have tight shoulders have to do as much as we can. If we're here, it's still the same thing. I'm not working this way, but rather this way. And in this position, if you look, you can see easily how when I stretch from my armpits, my chest goes. And my arms just naturally come up just a little bit higher with no extra effort. Then, extending more, I bring the arms up. Now release and reach up into Urdhva Hastasana and lower on the exhalation. Reclasp. So from here, now I move to here. Turn your palms again to face the front of the room. Look to see that the elbows are straight. Bring the thumb into alignment with the rest of the fingers and straighten the elbows. Then lift up through the front of the spine. From your armpit, reach your arms and inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Again, the elbows will try to break.
Squeeze the elbows in to keep them straight. And because you have the clasp of your hand, if you're extending from your armpit, you can use your hands to help you bring your arms a little bit further back. Like this. Again, notice if you like to push the navel forward, descend the buttocks, release the navel back, and then reach your arms again into Urdhva Hastasana, and then exhale, release. The next pose is Garudasana, the eagle pose. So we're just going to do the shoulder action for today. The belt is if when you do this position, you can't make the clasp of the hands. If you're not sure, take the belt. Doesn't have to be a formal belt. It could be a scarf. It could be, if you don't have props yet at home, I've seen people do it with a sock. It could be anything. It could be the tie from your robe. Reach your right arm out, turn your armpit from the back to the front, and reach up to the ceiling. Notice it tries to turn back. Keep turning it in. Then bend your elbow. You can take your left hand and pull it around a little bit so that it's not making a flag to the side, but it's coming in. And then I try to keep that in as I bring the left arm out and turn the shoulder forward. Then, keeping that action in the arm, reach your left hand up the back and grab your belt. If you can walk up the belt and grab your fingers, then you just drop the belt. Now from here, it will be easy to stretch the right arm and easy to stretch the left arm away. But you can see how the action has caused my chest to go out of alignment. So I'm going to bring my right ribs in. I'm going to lift up through the left side chest here. And the action of the arms stretching away from each other doesn't change the alignment of your chest. Release the shoulders down the back. And pull the hands against each other in such a way that you can feel the lift of your chest. Keep your navel releasing back and your buttocks dropping down into your block, the floor, or whatever support you're using. Then release your hands. Come out slowly. If you're using the belt, take it in your left hand. Turn your palm up, moving your armpit from the back to the front. Reach up to the ceiling, bend your elbow, drop your hand down your back. Again, you can take your right arm to help you create that turn. Reach your right arm out, turn your shoulder forward, and bring your hand around and up your back. Make your clasp with the belt or with your fingers. If you get there and you think, oh, I should have taken the belt, it's right there. You can always grab it. Now, keep your left ribs drawing in. Keep that extension up through the right side of your chest. Now stretch your elbows away from each other. And use this action to help you open the armpit of the upper arm. So if your shoulders are tight and you struggle to get that to open, this is the opportunity to feel how to use the other arm to help you create a little more opening. So as I pull with my right hand on my left hand, I'm using that to help me open my left armpit. You can see how that might work for you. And then exhale, release. Release your arms slowly. Now the hand that is the lower hand comes is half of Paschimma Namaskarasana. And that looks like this. Right? One hand was doing this when the other hand was up. When this hand was up, this hand was doing this. So now turn both shoulders forward, bring both hands around, bring your fingertips together, and then push your fingers up your back. It doesn't matter if the thumb side of your hand touches immediately. Just see if you can get to here and start to push your fingers up your back. Now relax through the shoulders. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come right away. You're just giving it a shot. Those of you who are to here are going to broaden across the palm toward the thumb and roll your elbows back. Everybody, see, even if you're here, can you roll your elbows back just a little? Even if you're here, which would be the alternative position if this is not possible. And honestly, it can be this low. Could be here. If this wasn't possible, could be here. But everybody, roll your elbows back. Nobody wants to practice that for very long. If you're still in it, release. Last time, let's go. Turn your shoulders forward. Bring your hands around. Find a position. It can be extremely low. If you can push your fingertips up your back any, fine. If you can't, you're working at your capacity. Everybody does. See if you can open your chest by moving your elbows back. Then notice I'm pushing my head forward. Release your head back. And then release your hands. Remove your block or your support. You'll either just shift your feet to the side, stretch them forward into Dandasana from here, or you can come forward, cross your ankles, bring your hands back, roll across your feet, and stretch your legs forward. Now open up the back of the knees. Make a trifold. Take a blanket or a towel and fold it like this. It's a towel that just needs to be folded so that it will give you a nice support. Slip it behind you and then pick your hips up and shift onto your blanket. We're back in Dandasana where we began.
So Dandasana is the position for, like Tadasana for standing poses, this is Tadasana of the seated variety. So the actions that you do in your legs when you're standing and in your hips when you're standing are the same actions that we try to establish in Dandasana. Squeeze your calves in, press your knees out, draw your hips in. Reach out through the sole of the foot, extending from your body up. Now roll your upper arms back, reach down through your hands and lift your chest. Reach down, grab the back of your knee and draw your leg in. Bring it into the line with your buttock. With your hands here, lift your chest. Notice, are you gripping your shoulder blades and pulling them up? Drop the shoulder blades down the back like a K, but lift your chest. And then release. So when we start to notice, bring your left leg in, that difference between lifting with the back body and lifting with the front body, life starts to get different fast in the shoulders. So now the heel of the left foot in line with your left buttock, your right leg long, your hands to the shins, lift your chest. Now squeeze your hips in. And then release. Stretch your left leg out. Bring your right leg in. Notice when you stretch your left leg that you don't want it to push your right hip back the way I'm doing now. So I want to keep my pelvis neutral like this when I bring the leg in. So you can see the difference. Then hold again and continue to hold with your right hand. Take your block and put it behind you and squeeze, put your hand on it and squeeze your hips in and turn towards your left. Now with your left hand on the block or on the floor, it could be on your blanket or your couch, push your chest out. Feel that left shoulder blade touching the back body. Squeeze the hips in, turn it in. Then inhale, extend up, and exhale, spiral back around to the center. Extend your leg out and bring your left leg in. Bring it in close, but not so close that it makes your knee ache. So if your knee hurts, bring it a little further forward. It'll be fine. Again, don't press with your right foot so much that it shifts your hips, your left hip back. So grab your left shin with your hands, lift your chest, drop the shoulders, roll your upper arms back, drop the shoulders down the back. Now continue to hold your leg with your left hand and bring your right hand behind you. Now press your left foot into the floor, lift your chest, draw your hips in and turn. Inhale, extend up, and exhale, spiral back around to the center. Stretch your left leg forward, bring your right leg in. Again, maintain that action, that extension of your left leg, And this time, reach up through your right arm and hook your arm inside of your right knee. And then reach down towards your left foot, like this. Take your left hand, swing, turn your shoulder forward. It's that action of bringing the arm behind the back that we did previously in the previous two poses. Turn your shoulder forward, bend your elbow, and bring it across your back. If that's not possible, you keep it beside your hip. Those of you who can reach it around. Now, press down through your right inner foot. We're trying to get the outside of our right armpit to the inside of our right knee. So you might lean forward so that you feel more pressure on that right foot. Then lift your chest, turn, and as you squeeze the hips in, press your knee into your arm, but don't let your arm move. So squeeze in. And then release, spiral back around to the center, stretch your right leg out. Keep your right leg in Dandasana. Keep your hips neutral, bring your left leg in. Now, one of the things that first bit that we did when we came to here was to help us create was that we weren't going to pull away from the leg. So when we grab that leg and we pull, we're bringing our trunk into the leg. Continue that as you reach up through your left arm and hook in to the inside of your leg. Get your armpit to the inside of the knee. Reach your hand down towards your foot. Turn your right shoulder forward. Bend your elbow and reach around your back. Now, press down through your left foot. And as you do, use that to help you activate your hip. Squeeze that left hip in. Turn your trunk. And breathe. And then release back out. And stretch your left leg forward. When we're doing these twists, some of you know that going further is really not the thing for you. You needn't go further. I'm showing the next stage for those of you who are ready to go a little further. You can stop even here. Perfectly reasonable place to be. Reach up through your right arm with your right leg in, hook your arm inside and reach down towards your foot. Now turn your palm away from your foot. Don't move by the floor. And then if you have your shoulder against your leg and your elbow is past your knee, you're ready to bend your elbow around your leg. Rather than down by the hip, close that angle until you've sort of hooked your leg. Now take your left arm, turn the shoulder forward. That allows you to bend that elbow and reach around your back. Once you've reached around your back, you're going to roll across the edge of your hand, the thumb side of your hand, and make the clasp with your other hand. If you don't make the clasp, don't dismay. You could have your hand on the floor. Now, from here, pull down on your elbows, lift your chest, and press your knee or your leg, your right foot into the floor, and press your right knee into your arm. Take your left arm, roll it out.
and then turn forward, release your leg, stretch your right leg forward, and bring your left leg in. Once more, going to the place that is reasonable and helpful for you. At the very least, we can all lift our chest. Now reach up through your left arm, hook your shoulder against the inside of your knee, and reach down through your left hand. So you're literally shifting forward from here where you're on the center of the buttocks, center of the buttock bones, to here, I'm moving toward the front of my buttock bones. Then, once more, turn your hand away from your foot, and then turn the palm all the way toward the ceiling. Bend your elbow, and hook your leg. You're still leaning forward. Bring your right hand around, turning the shoulder forward and bending the elbow. Bring your hand behind your back, roll across your hand, and make the clasp with your left hand. Now you can see my left foot, my left knee has kind of moved to the left. From here, if I press down into the left foot, that accesses my hip. Bring the right hip in against that, lift your chest, pull down on your knuckles, and turn. So from the front of the buttock bones, I'm moving back toward the center of the buttock bones. I'm pressing the left knee into my and then exhale, release. Stretch your legs straight ahead. You're still on your trifold. Swing your feet to the right. Next pose is Vajrasana. You'll have your right arch on top of your your right ankle on top of your left arch. Come forward, take your blanket, move it to the left so that it supports just the left buttock bone. Look to see that the toes of the right foot are stretching straight back. Now all of that great work from Virasana, where I was on the center of the shin, I've kind of lost some of that. So just try to adjust myself again so that this right buttock can start to drop down even as the left buttock is supported. Now, once more, you're going to take your left arm, turn your shoulder forward, and just bring your hand across your back. If that's not possible, your hand stays here. But even with your hand here, you're going to touch that shoulder blade onto the back rib. So if you've brought your hand around your back, touch the shoulder blade onto the back rib, take your right arm, turn it across so the palm is up. The back of the hand reaches to the other side of your left thigh. Lift your chest, draw the hips in, and turn. Notice how the twist could be something that you try to do with your upper body, or the twist could be something that you do rather effortlessly with just your hips. Keep lifting up through the right side of your chest. Keep lifting the sternum. And on the exhalation, spiral back around to the center. Swing your legs forward. Move your blanket to the opposite side. Slip it under so you can lean to the side and just slip it under your right buttock. Then roll onto it and swing your feet to the left. Your left foot is as if it's in Virasana. Your right arch is under your left ankle. Everything has sort of tipped this way. So when I adjust, I'm trying to get that broadness across the back of my right thigh that we would have looked for in the very first pose in Dandasana. So I don't want the back of my thigh to turn in so much. I'd like to get a little more of that action so that this left buttock can feel the opportunity to drop. Now we started by bringing the hand behind the back on the first side. On this side, we're going to start by bringing the hand across the leg. And you can see which way works best for you. So take your left arm, turn the palm up, reach it across, extend completely. Now you have your right hand here to help you with the turn. So nothing more needs to be done if you can't get your hand behind your back. If you can, you're going to turn your shoulder forward again, same action. Bring the hand around the back and reach towards your left arm. Now, soften across the front of your chest, and from your sternum, release out. You're not trying to push, but you're just softening across towards your right shoulder. Again, you're not pushing, you're letting go. And that letting go for me feels like a release all the way to the elbow. So as I release and soften through the elbow, it brings the back of my wrist onto my back a little bit more, which is where that left kidney is. So I'm using that to help me move in so that the left side of the chest can lift. And then when I press the left hand into the right knee and I draw my hips in, the twist starts to come. And then exhale. And stretch your legs forward. Clear your mat for the next pose, which is going to be Supta Baddha Konasana. You're going to want your belt. And you may, if the floor is cold or you want extra cushion, open the blanket or the towel and cover your mat. If you're fine with the mat, remove it. If your neck and shoulders are tight, you're going to take a blanket and fold it to support your head, to the extent that your head needs support. You may need nothing. The decision about the head looks like this. If you see how my chin is lifting, that means the forehead is moving toward my hairline. And if I try to adjust out of that, and it creates tension in my neck, so you can see the tension in my neck, then I would need a blanket. So if I took the blanket, I would bring it to my shoulders to support my neck and my head. As soon as you get in position, you're going to do what I just did. You're going to press your elbows, slide the shoulder blades down the back, and then you won't be pushing your back waist up, but you'll release it down to the floor. Now, those of you who don't need the lift under your head will be like this. Like if you're looking over your head and you can't lengthen the back of your neck without creating tension, you need a blanket. Have your belt. Get yourself positioned lying down. Now stretch out through your legs. It's helpful if you get your legs close together, then the other leg doesn't get away from you. Release your groin. So some of us will find we're pushing up and squeezing the butt. Relax the back of the thighs, drop your buttocks, and bend your right knee. Take the belt, slip it around your right foot, place the belt right at the front of your heel, top of your heel. And then bring your right leg up. Hold the belt with both hands. Walk up as close to your foot as you can. And you can see, if you just look to the screen again, you can see how my shoulders have pulled off of the floor. I want to make my legs stretch more, but I want to do that by using my arms to create the action. So I just, and I would say pull the arms down, but if you see what I did, I tightened my neck to do that. So I'm going to say, rather than pull the arms down, I'm going to say release the arms back to the floor. And then you can take your belt, turn slightly so you're turning your armpits from the back to the front just a little bit. And you'll pull just a smidge. Then you might walk up towards your foot again. And then lower the leg. Slip your left foot into the belt. Slip your right foot out. And you're ready to go to the second side. Squeeze your right outer calf in. Squeeze your right hip in. Bend your left knee in. Work your hands down your belt. And then hold on to the belt. Put the belt right at the front of your heel. And then bring your left leg up. Walk your hands up the belt till your elbows are straight. Stretch up through your inner leg. Then once more, the same way, relax your shoulders down to the floor. Pull your foot in another half an inch if you can. And then lower your left leg down to the floor. Put your right leg in. Slip your left leg out. And bring your right leg up. Bring it up straight this time. Bend just a little bit, get closer to your foot, and then straighten your leg. Release your arms back down to the floor. Keep both hips on the same level. Keep both buttocks rocking. And then slowly lower your legs, sliding about through your hands. Put your left foot in, slip your right foot out, adjust the belt to be right at the front, the top of the knee. And then inhale, bring that leg up, keeping the hips neutral, walk your hands up as close as you can to your foot. Now bend your knee ever so slightly and walk your feet a little closer. Then straighten your leg. Release your shoulders back down to the floor. You immediately feel that through your hamstring. If not, you could probably go closer to your foot with your hands. It is a hamstring stretch. We want to feel it. And then release and come all the way down. Slip your right foot in, slip your left leg out. Now, if you were working on this pose in your practice, you could do 2 or 3 more rounds of that. It would not be a bad thing to do. But we're going to go to Supta Padangusasana 2. So you're going to swing your right leg up. You're going to walk your right hand up as close to your foot as you can get. Again, you're drawing your right outer hip in. You're extending through your left leg. Now bend, so as you come out to the side, you're going to pull your right foot at a bit of a diagonal. So you'll do that by bending your right elbow out from your right shoulder. Release your right inner groin to your inner heel and pull back from your right outer heel to your outer hip. At that point, if you find that you can walk out the belt and grab your big toe with your middle finger, index finger, and thumb, do that now. Notice if your left hip likes to rise, can you engage your hips and extend your left leg more to keep that position? And then press with your right outer thigh to come back up. Lower your leg back down to the floor. Slip the left foot into the belt. Release your right leg. Hold the belt with just your left hand. Stretch out through your right leg. Now again, we're moving in a diagonal line. So bend your left elbow out from your shoulder. Stretch your right leg more. Don't let the weight of your left leg coming out lift your right hip or your right leg. So squeeze in with your left outer thigh to keep your right hip in position. If at that point you can reach out, your foot has come to the line of your shoulder or close, you can grab your big toe with your middle finger, index finger, and thumb. Now to come back up, press with your left outer thigh and bring your left leg back up to the ceiling. Release the belt and lower your left leg all the way down to the floor. Transfer the belt. Again, slip your right foot in and your left leg out. Bring your right leg up. And this time, hold the belt with your left hand. Bring your right hand to your right outer hip. Draw your right outer hip away from your shoulder. And bring your left foot, again, at a diagonal, not straight across, but at a diagonal to stretch that upper edge of the IT band, right at the upper outer thigh. Not many things get that muscle to stretch. So that your foot, your right foot, is really in line with your left shoulder and is moving towards your left shoulder. Then drop your left shoulder back to the floor. Lift your chest. And by lift the chest, I really just mean compact the hips and feel the extension through the front spine. Then bring that right leg back. in line with its own hip. Lower the foot down to the floor. Slip your left foot in. Slip your right foot out. Bring your left leg up. Hold the belt with your right knee. Turn your left outer thigh away from its own shoulder. And once more, when you bring that leg up, you're bringing it only to the line of your right shoulder. And then come back. Bring your left foot back in line with its own shoulder. And then lower the leg all the way to the floor. Slip the belt off and move it to the side. Bend your right knee in and clasp your hands and bring them either to the front of the shin, the way that you did for that Marichyasana twist. But as you bring the knee toward the chest, stretch your left leg so that you don't just roll your hips up and tighten your back legs. So keep your trunk long. Keep your left leg long. Keep your elbows wide. Soften in the right hip and bring the right leg in. And then release. Stretch your right leg out. And then bring your left leg in. And once more, clasp right to the front of your shins, or could be behind the back of the thigh. But remember to continue stretching that right leg. Continue feeling the broadness of the front of the chest. So it's not that you're working your chest to bring the leg in. It's almost as if you're releasing your leg to your chest with no effort. And I know that's not strictly true, but you're not using your back, shoulders, and your neck to do it. And then release. Stretch both legs out. We're going to end with Shavasana today. You can I don't necessarily have a wall. Wall is a prop. So just stretch out flat. On your mat. Release your arms to your sides about 30 degrees. Take your awareness inside. And focus your attention on your breath. Slow, smooth, steady inhalation. Long, slow, smooth exhalation. Close your eyes. By this point, you should have taken any support that you need to be comfortable. That might include a blanket behind your neck and head. That could include tagging a blanket under your arm. It could include, for any of you, a blanket rolled up under the back of the thighs. If you run out of blankets or towels and you still feel it in your back, you'll bend your knees, drop your knees toward each other, and have your feet far enough away that no effort is required to hold them. As you focus your attention on your breath, gradually begin to lengthen your exhalation. Let that be a release rather than an active effort on your part. In that way that you might rush to do anything or choose to do it very slowly. What we're looking for in our breathing now is an effortless quality of letting go. Slow, smooth, steady inhalation. Long, slow, smooth exhalation. Keep letting the weight of the body drop down into the floor so that you're gradually taking yourself more and more in. Asatoma Satgamaya Kamsoma Jyotir Kamaya Mrityoma Amritamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Ready. Bring your hands to your abdomen. Draw your awareness slowly out. Feeling your fingers and your toes, feeling your skin on your mat or on the floor, your blankets. And then bend your knees one at a time. Keeping yourself quiet. Roll to your right side. If your right side for any reason is not the most comfortable, absolutely roll to your left. Support your head. Rest there for a breath or so. And then roll toward the floor and using your hands, push yourself to a seated position, letting your head come up. Namaste.